race, crack, runway, game is on. Drag race is the truth. Bruno sue me for this parody. You read it, the cringes, you read it well. The cringe is real.
Hi, it's Jean here from You Read It Well,
And it's Sam from The Cringe is Real.
and we are having a blast. And I'm excited to talk about this final episode, episode 8, the grand finale of UK versus the World Season 2. Sam, what do you think about what's going on with this
Wow.
episode? I was amazed.
We made it to the finish line. Look, it was a bit of a strange finale, wasn't it? I don't think we've ever had one quite in this format where sort of a reunion takes place awkwardly in the middle, and then we I have only positive critiques for all four queens, and then there's just like a random lip sync smackdown. I'm still processing, because
Yeah,
I only
it's
just
like
watched
it's
it,
like
but
cramming an episode and a half together or something like that. Like you just
yes,
it was a
but
real
then it still
carb
felt
loading.
quite filler. Yeah.
I think it was sort of like a candy colored fun packet of an episode. Do you know what I mean? Like it was sort of like there wasn't enough time for anything to be sort of hit on too intently, because they were like, okay, now we're doing this thing, now we're doing the next thing, oh, now we're doing the lipstick smackdown, game on.
Yeah, it was all just one after the next. Look, it's really
Mm,
nice to have the returning queens come back. I'm not sure if there
absolutely.
was any like genuine, I couldn't tell how genuine any of the beef was, but like, they
Yeah.
gave it a go.
Yeah,
And
I mean, Scarlett gives good face, so it's like she's fucking funny on camera, but I don't know. I'm not sure that I buy it, like, because it just
I
seems,
know, I think maybe after last season they were expecting there to be more genuine upset from the eliminations kind of thing. And
yeah,
so they were like,
yeah,
oh, we'll have space for this where the queens can confront each other about like, why did you pick me? And they clearly like riled up the eliminated queens before they got out there to like have their moment of
yeah,
retribution, which I kind of enjoyed, but I just,
yeah,
yeah,
and like some of them, I'm like, yeah, girl, like Mayhem being like really like pressed, and it's like Mayhem, you failed to deliver completely, like for
I'm
her.
surprised she was there. I thought she would have been on the first plane back home, to be honest, but good on her.
Good on her. She was congenial.
She was congenial. So the episode starts with like a bit of a flashback of all the eliminate. We get like 11 international queens and 7 devastating eliminations, and then we get sort of like the usual kind of introduction of our 4 finalists, who of course are the Grand Dame, Hannah Conda, Marina Summers, and Tia Kofi. Going in, were you like, yes, these were the correct finalists? How did you feel at the start?
I really like I really like this cast, just generally, like it was a fun cast. I think they all in their way deserve to be there because they play a part, like they have their part that they do well. That's Drag Race. I mean, Marina. I mean, I was going in. I was like, well, Marina's gonna win. I mean, it's a fucking lip sync sackdown. I mean, like, what are we even talking about? But she was like low energy, and a very smaller part of the edit this whole episode. And like going into the lip sync, I was like, she is she unwell? Like, do you know what I mean? She didn't seem to have that fire, but I don't know if I'm just reading into it because
Mm.
of how it's been edited.
It was actually really strange. Normally, in a finale episode, they give you a few clues along the way of who's going to win, right? But this
Mm.
year, they really left us like in the lurch. It was very. I feel like the whole season was telling me that Tia was going to win, and that's why last
You,
week I thought I'd picked it because I
yeah.
felt like they were really pushing her as the UK's sweetheart, that she was getting so
Hmm.
much confessional time. She was telling the whole story of the show. But then this week they were all all kind of in the running in this weird way. There was not a negative word said about all four of them, which I thought was
Yeah.
actually quite a nice way to finish, just kind of celebrate the diversity of the top four and
Mhm.
their own special things. But yeah, really, it wasn't giving a heavy Tia bias. But you're
No,
right,
it
Marina
felt
wasn't the star either.
no, no. I mean, yeah, it was odd because Tia. I mean, the Tia storyline is so endearing. You know, like it's easy to understand why they crafted it the way they did and why they've gone with Tia in the end. But it's like there's like three other queens there who are pretty damn good. So it was like wow, like I don't really get like where the fandom is going, like you know where like how they judged it, you know, over this season, you know, because I can't tell who's really popular, you know.
Yeah, well, I can see from the internet that there's a bit of backlash about Marina's edit in the final episode and
Hmm.
just her
Hmm.
placement in general. I think it was like her manager or someone from her team posted something like, "Just you wait, I'm gonna release the tapes on the unedited lip sync, like where she did all these
Hmm.
shablans and death drops and she should have won and all this stuff," like implying that.
Hmm.
And I'm kind of
Yeah.
like, yes, she is incredible,
Hmm.
and she's one of the handful of queens that Rue has told to their face, you were born to do drag, which I
Yeah.
think is almost like a prize in itself.
Totally.
Um, yeah, I don't know. And it's the final, like, Rue makes these decisions on the off the cuff, I reckon. And it's like, you never know.
Yeah.
You can win a lip sync not doing a shablam. Like, there's still
Lips
story. It's still a TV show, guys. Like, calm down, everyone.
and you've seen time and time again people just in the lip sync smackdown like amazing queens just go out, like bow out in like the first it's never not shocking, which is like what makes it great TV. But like you know like these great people, so it was like interesting, like it was, but it was just totally not how I thought it was going to play out at all.
No, not at all. So they clean the mirror off from Scarlett, who comes in fifth place, and Le Grand Dame laughs at Hannah and says, "Well, it took you 2 weeks to get rid of her because she had her on a lipstick 2 weeks in a row." We get a little confessional of Marina saying it's her time to shine. She's here for global domination. But I'm kind of with you. Didn't feel like, yeah, there wasn't the same energy behind her as we'd had the rest of the season.
Mhm. Yeah.
Tia reveals her lipstick. It was also Scarlet, and they discussed that it was about the track record, like she'd been in the bottom
Hmm.
the most times. Are you buying this? Scarlet seems to think that it was personal later on. Do we agree with her?
I think Scarlett has a very interesting view of Scarlett. You know, and Scarlett did very well. Like not anything to, you know. It was a good show, a pretty good showing, but she, like, out of the queens that were there, it did seem like it was her time to get the hell out of there. It's the worst place to be eliminated, but let's face it. So, you know,
Just before the finale. Yeah.
just before the finale. But yeah, I don't think she quite had it this season. I don't think either of the American queens did. It was a pretty
No. And they had the
poor showing.
attitude of someone
Hmm.
that deserved to be there for some reason. It's kind of came
They,
across like that. Like they
they
expected
had
it.
they had the attitude of like a Monet exchange, or like, you know what I mean? Like someone like just like superstar level. And I was like, guys.
Guys, you were the third callbacks with this show. And then, so then, like Whiplash, we cut to a freaking reunion on the main stage hosted by Michelle Visage.
Oh,
I was
hi,
like,
there's a
what
reunion.
is going on?
Yeah.
And we get all of the eliminated queens enter one by one. Michelle gives them a little hidey high. Mayhem enters in a gorgeous glove look, but I was like, hasn't she worn this exact thing before? I feel like I've seen it.
I don't know what's going on with Mayhem. Like when I saw her in this glove look, I'm like, babes, you've done, like, we've seen this. Why are you, this is what's going on? Like, did you pack everything up and you were just like, I can't be bothered unpacking everything? Like I don't
She came
understand.
straight from a gig, like around the corner. Yeah. We
Yeah.
meet Arancha again, Chambers, Katie Minaj, Gothi Kendall, Theresa May, and of course Scarlett. And then Michelle goes, "Oh, Scarlett, someone must be a bit salty they didn't make it to the final." And it's like, well, Michelle's really trying hard to be British, isn't she?
She loves it, and God
She
bless her
fucking
that she
loves it.
just she's just all about getting down and dirty with the UK. And I think she's gonna be awesome, like down under, like especially as the host, because she is willing to kind of like try, you know what I mean? She knows
Mm.
that as an American you have to learn this shit, like, and because she spent heaps of time in the UK, so, and it's like another world,
It was like a little, there was almost like a little nod to that about to happen in this episode, like her being the host of Down Under, because she kind
Yeah,
of like defends the franchise a little bit. So does Rue, actually, later on. I was
yeah,
kind of like, oh, what's happening here? They're really like defending their baby, which was, look, nice to see, because I feel like
yeah.
until that point, we've never heard anything from them publicly, except for Rue calling Australian drag queens ratchet on, on Graham Norton show or whatever. So I feel like he's making up for that
Yeah.
by being like, no, these guys are good. What do you say? He's like, the fun, the humor, the joy, the ratchetness. It's all a part of it. And Jombers
It's
is
like,
mad.
excuse you? Jumpers
Jombers
is
is fatly
like,
mad.
yeah, Jumpers' emotions just right here, like right, like just like ready to go. She was like just ready to go. I was like, okay, like you did well, Jumpers.
And
You did pretty well.
and she did all right, but and you could see she was sort of monitoring herself, like she wanted to be a bit shady and fun, but then like she didn't want to come across too like salty. I don't know. It was hard to watch her figuring that out live on camera. Then the final four enter. Hannah's in a tiny little pink thing. Marina looks sickening, of course, as does Tia and Le Grand Dame. I actually liked what Tia had on at the reunion more than in the finale. The green thing wasn't it for me.
Ah, yeah, like I liked the reference, and what
Hmm.
she's been doing all season has been
The
so
glow up.
clever. The completely just being self-referential and glowing up. But yeah, I think I agree. I think I definitely enjoyed that look that she served in the mini reunion. Is that what we're calling it? Like whatever this is.
No idea. Scarlett asked Hannah why she chose to eliminate her, and Hannah seems a bit put on the spot. She's a bit wonky. She's like, "Well, look, it was all about the track record, and I was feeling a little bit unwell last week, so there's that." Like she just sort of like makes some excuses that don't quite go together. And
Yeah, it
then
was
of
a
course,
very sort of like politician sort of answer, wasn't it? Like they just dance around but don't really say much.
and I think Scarlett was looking for, "I hate you, you stupid bitch." Like that's why I had to get rid of you, and she just wasn't gonna get it. So she kind of gives up. She's like, "It's
Yeah.
personal. It was personal. It felt
Yeah, but
personal."
like what? But like, if it was personal, Scarlett, then you would know. Like, there would have been like a thing that you would be saying, like, "Oh, is this about that thing?" And it would be a thing. But like her just going, "It's personal." It's just like,
Yeah,
okay,
that
maybe.
time you stole my wig or whatever, or slept with my
Yeah,
ex-boyfriend or something. Does that happen
yeah,
later on? So Tia
yeah,
also comes into bat for Hannah here, which is a bit cute. And she's like, "Well, to be fair, Scarlett, chose you as well. So like, you
yeah,
were going
yeah.
home regardless." And that kind of shuts her up a bit. And then Michelle reminds us of last season's Pangina elimination, which I was like, God, you
Oof.
really know this season was exciting when they're bringing up something that happened last time. And then the Americans all go on about how competitive they are. That was a bit weird. They're like, yeah, we're here to actually win. You guys are just having
Yeah,
fun. What was that about?
person who went out first, person who went out first, and person who didn't make the finals. Like, it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's harder to go against the grain when you've actually got the power to do it. Like, like to take someone like Marina out, would be pretty baller this season because it's just not the vibe. It's just not what's happening.
And then Michelle makes a Brexit joke in relation to
Hmm.
the UK girlies and their alliance that didn't really ever eventuate, which I'm glad we got some uh, closure on this storyline. And they're just like, yeah, we weren't feeling it.
Because you guys were telling us it was a thing and we hadn't actually officially made that plan. Like, it's just like we were trying to push a storyline on you guys and it didn't work. And they're like, yeah, it didn't work. Like, that's basically.
Pretty much. Mayhem then kind of changes her tune and she's like trying to be congenial and she goes on about how she's a veteran, she's had the screen time, and she was so graciously able to donate her screen time to Gothy Kendall for Gothy to become a superstar.
Oh my God. I was just like, okay.
What is going on?
Yeah, I think there's a lot going on. I don't know. I think there's a lot going on with Mayhem that she's just trying to bottle all in. Like, it's just like, let's keep it for the plane ride home.
Totally. Jumpers is still a bit awkward. They highlight that she was the first UK queen to be chopped. Um, but Michelle gives her like a nice little thing. She's like, well, but you did have fantastic looks this season. I thought that was nice because she did.
Oh, she absolutely came in with an elevated. I think that's why she was like really had high hopes because she'd done a lot of work, which it was like I really like Jombers, but emotional Jombers, I'm like, no, 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 fun Jombers. Fun Jombers is fun. Emotional Jombers, I'm like, it's not that dramatic. Like you got a
Keep it
lot of screen
light.
time. Jumper's got a lot of screen time as well in UK versus the world. So that's all you can really
She
ask
did because
for.
she's really funny and
Yeah.
she's got the accent and she's got this kind of like nervous energy, but it's quite endearing. I don't know.
Mm. Mhm.
I'm glad she came back. And she also reminds us like, oh, I only just came off the back of my season and here I am kind of thing, which was nice because it's like, yes, we get it. You got invited back. Um, then they investigate the Pixie Polite situation for 2 seconds and it's a bit confusing. And then Hannah, God bless, just comes out with like a Pixie fucked Tia and then Tia fucked Jumbers or Pixie fucked Jumbers or whatever. And I was like, thank you, Tia. Thank you, Hannah.
Hannah has just delivered all season when it comes to that kind of shit. She's just like, that's why Hannah got to the final because she's just like does all that extra shit in the room, like just says those lines, says those like prepared like jokes. It was the whole package for Hannah Conda this season.
Yeah, whole package of cackling and her just being a little bit of a chaotic sister.
And
Um,
swearing a lot.
Marina uses her section to kind of roast everyone. It's great. She's like calls Tia's makeup a rocky road. She's actually so good. Like Marina should be so happy with her representation on this season. It was like there was not a stumble. They didn't even have enough footage to make a storyline about a stumble if
Mm-mm.
they wanted to. It was just perfection from where to go. So she should be stoked, really.
And then, like, they revealed in this episode that it's the first time out in UK. She's the first time out of Philippines. Is that right? Like, is that what they were
Or like
suggesting?
Asia, perhaps? Yeah. They're saying she hasn't traveled a whole lot, which I mean, she will now. She's gonna go and take over the world now.
Yeah, it's no doubt, no doubt. It's Marina's time. Like, and also they've. I think it's better to lose in a lot of ways because like there's an opportunity for you to come back, and that's what they want with Marina Summers.
Yeah, I would be happy for her to come back again. Even on like an American All Stars season, I can see them doing that just because of her level of like polish and everything. She could easily fit in nicely, kind of like how
Oh,
the Vivian did and Jimbo did. Like, chuck her in, see what happens.
see what happens. She'd fucking kill. She'd fucking destroy.
Now we get the bit where Hannah Conda tells us that the Down Under franchise gets a bad rap. And she's like, sorry to say it, but don't really care too much what the American audience think about it. Which I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then Michelle's like, oh, why is that? And I'm like, oh no. Um, what did you think of this little bit?
It's like, they're trying to say things without saying things. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't quite say what you mean. Like you know that like we can actually exist without, without America's fucking approval is not something you want to say on a show that when you're trying to ingratiate to Americans. So it's a, I, I think that's, I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I was glad she said it because someone had to say something. Otherwise, it's just a bit awkward. We leave it like this unspoken thing. I almost feel like her placement in this season, like it was earned, it was like deserved because she's so likable. But it did feel a bit like maybe Rue
Mm.
and the producers trying to elevate the status of Down Under just because of how much people go off about how shit it is. So I feel like no, that's my conspiracy theory is that she was kind of pushed to the end as a bit of a like a stamp of approval. Also knowing in the back of her mind, Rue, that she's about to up and leave us. So maybe it was a bit of guilt.
I love this conspiracy theory. I love this. I mean, I think Hannah did a fantastic job, and I think we can both agree about that. But like who knows? Because I think the other thing about the two that kind of ended up in the final is they're they're really good children of Rue. You know what I mean? That they're good ambassadors for other Rue projects. And like I think they're always looking for those people as well. So there's probably like a billion fucking reasons. There's probably like a data guy who just shows graphs, that's
Oh my
and it's a
god,
really
I love
and
this
there's a computer
visual.
program that helps decide.
The
I don't
gay
know.
data intern who's just like, all right, we've got the stats from the Twitter, the stats from the Reddit. We've combined them together, and this is the final
Yeah.
two. Could be.
Mhm.
Teresa and Arancha get next to no airtime in this reunion, but then all of a sudden they crown Arancha as Miss Melody, which I thought was quite cute.
I love Arancha. I want Arancha to come back as many times as Arancha. That was one of the most disappointing eliminations, I think, for me, just because even though I think it was Arancha's time, she's just so fun and so interesting. So I believed it. I was like, yeah, I guess you're Miss Congeniality. Also, like a lot of them were pretty nice, but they were a lot of them I think were in the top four as well.
Yeah, it of what a season with 11 queens, and then you have a top four. It's kind of like a large chunk of them, but
Mm.
it was really nice that Arancha got a little something because she did have a really great story and she's just so likable, and you can tell that everyone got on with her really well and that her elimination was a bit devastating. The mini reunion concludes and we pretty much head straight to the main stage. It's very whiplash at this point, and we get the
Mm.
finale extravaganza looks, not just from the top four, but from everyone.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, okay.
So we start with Mayhem Miller. She comes out in a beautiful Africana inspired look with her signature colored contacts in.
I actually thought this was very beautiful. I thought she pulled that off. You didn't like it?
No, no, I liked it. I just getting sick of the colored contacts, but I guess branding.
Yeah, she's so beautiful as it is.
Yeah. Then is it a first, Jane, but Arancha Castilla-La Mancha comes out wearing her Miss Congeniality sash on the main stage, which I thought was camp, and she looked amazing in these sort of big flared pants with big puffy sleeves. What did you think?
I loved it. I thought it was so joyous to wear the Miss Congeniality sash on stage. I just thought that was so delightful, you know. Yeah, so I think she did a really good job of the tiny bits that she was in to sort of shine. Yeah, I really liked the way she looked.
Jombers comes out in a sort of clown-esque Alice in Wonderlandy thing, but make it fashion. Yeah,
Yeah, it was all right. Like, yeah, I think she did better in other runways, but Jombers is looking good. Elevation has happened.
Kate Minaj comes out in a bone armor look. I thought it was cool because it was like we're used to her in these kind of spooky things, but this one was kind of a little bit more polished.
Yeah, yeah, it was like a Geiger print, but I liked it. I thought it was good.
Classic gothic Ken doll. It's a bit boring, but she looks fantastic. We've come to know and love this from her. She still hasn't perfected the runway walk, but it's nice to see her again.
It's like a zero drama presentation from Gothy, but like such a pretty face. But I think she could like try just generally like a bit more drama with the outfits as well. Like they're really beautiful, like they're beautifully made, but like just it's just one more thing, and I can't. But she's almost there, but she looks great.
Teresa looked really good. I liked this red thing. She said it was inspired by Beetlejuice, and yeah, just big. Finally, she got our notes about um, editing down.
Yeah, Teresa did well this in this episode. I think Teresa was so happy to be finished. I swear to you that she had a
Oh
couple of
yeah.
nights sleep. And she was like, "Oh, yeah." No, she looked very, and face beautiful face.
And speaking of happy to be finished, I feel like Scarlett purposely dressed down for the finale in protest of not being in the top four. She comes out in just like a nude tight dress, and I was like, that's it.
Yeah, it was very like nothing. If you can consider like her last season in All Stars that she did, and the looks that she served. I was just like, okay, is this what you wear? Yeah, is this what you wear underneath the dress?
The finalists come out Hanaconda in what can only be described as a hideous but delightful hot pink and colourful dress. I really did not like this, but it was also very her.
I didn't love that print, and I think she said later she'll never wear that fabric again. Um, but the actual bold bit of pink that wasn't the print, I really liked that part. That part that looked good, and it
The
fit her really well.
shoulders kind of,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the fit was there. But then just standing next to the other three, so Legrand Dame comes out looking like just, oh my God.
Oh,
I don't even
oh
have
my god.
words for this silver thing. It was just fucking hot.
Mm.
Marina in like a perfectly jeweled crown and a whole story about the biodiversity of the Filipino Ocean. I was like, stop. This is too good.
Oh,
And then Tia in the green glow up, which I didn't love, but yes, I appreciated the story of that. So it kind of like, yeah, she got a bit drowned out in the look department.
when you've got Le Grand Daming, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I don't even know how any of them walk out there with Marina. Like, I mean, you just be like, "What am I doing here?" like these two, like freaks. Like they're so good, you know. Um, but you know, I think for the most part, it's been a pretty the looks overall. This whole series has been pretty strong, don't you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, it's been an incredible season
Yeah,
for drag in general, and I've loved the just the diversity of representation. You get your fashion girlies, your funny girlies. You see how it's done all over the world. I mean, look,
beautiful. Yeah.
RuPaul really tells us in this episode that Down Under drag is fun and camp, but maybe not fashion.
Which is such a load. I mean, but although you know you hear about drag from other parts of the world where they'll just make us all look like shit. So I guess it's all about context, isn't it? Yeah, but I think Hannah always looks good and knows how to paint. And you look, we won't talk again about the gold outfit, the
Oh,
gold
please
cap,
don't.
because that was, you know,
I haven't recovered, Jean.
it's upsetting. But aside from that, I think I'm really proud of what Hannah Akonda has done on this season of Drag Race.
Le Grand Dame is next for the positive crits, and they love her kooky sense of fashion. They loved that she pissed her pants on stage, that she came out as a knitted condom. They were some of the highlights. And yeah, great season for Le Grand Dame. She really pulled it off and showed us a kind of new character in the drag universe I think we haven't seen before.
Hmm. Hmm. And also, Le Grand Dame was nice, like a nice person. Like, like it was just sort of like, yeah, there was no sort of like heightened drama with Le Grand Dame. Uh, she was just like, I'm a fully formed human being. I already work with like fashion designers. Like, I am drag excellence. It's like, okay, like, yeah, off you go.
She was just a joy to watch the whole season, and I'm really glad
Yeah,
she made it to the
yeah.
end because we got to see everything she brought in that suitcase. And then, yeah, and she was just funny all the time. I really
Mm,
vibe with her humor. And at times I didn't think the judges were. And it's funny because Rue gives her the note of a lot of beautiful girls as beautiful as you would just rest on that, but not you. You've got it all. I was like, that's nice because that's how I've been seeing it this time,
mm.
even though I thought a few times the humor wasn't quite connecting with the judging panel. So that was a nice moment.
Yeah, she totally deserves it. Like, I mean, like she just did things that were true to her as well. Like, and I appreciated that.
Marina Summers, the judging panel don't have anything bad to say about her. They never really have. Graham says everything you do is flawless. So I'm like, you don't get a better critique than that. And then
Mm.
they all do the Miss Universe head turn, which is going to be her signature move from now on.
Yeah.
Tia also gets a glowing review. They loved her growth and her humor. Alan says, you didn't come to play, you came to fly. And
Can I just say this Alan impersonation you're doing is so
oh,
fun. I'm
Jane,
just loving it.
I've been. Don't encourage it, honestly.
I'm so sorry. Tia, like, what a gem. Like, you just want to hang out with Tia. You just want to be Tia's friend. Let's face it. Like, Tia Coffee, it doesn't really matter what Tia wears. That's what it comes down to. She just has this whole other thing going on that people care about and people connect with, and that's what
Mhm.
they've worked out. But they saw it in the first season, despite her busted looks.
Baroness Basic returns to mop the floor. And yeah, so Michelle says she loved the Cherry Valentine homage look, so that was nice. We get another little glimpse of that. That was a real standout moment for me for her this season. And then RuPaul even says she's emotional for her. She's like, "You're a superstar. You're a superstar, honey. And your quirky sense of fashion, we just love you." And that's kind of when I was like, "Oh yeah, she's kind of got this." Like they all got good crits, but like she got kind of got called a superstar.
Wow, like that's actually that's pretty subtle, but don't you reckon? Like, I mean, you've picked up on that, but I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Like, oh yeah, okay, she's gonna win. Like,
I mean, the other conspiracy theory could be that with the prize money, someone British had to win. Who knows? I don't want to. I feel bad putting that into the universe, but like, it's just an episode of conspiracy theories from us.
I mean, it's a little gauche. The reason I didn't think Tia was gonna win is because I just didn't think they were gonna have two UK queens winning in a row. Like, it feels gauche to
Well,
do that.
clearly they don't care about that.
Clearly not.
Yeah, I mean, I just was getting a vibe this whole season that we were being told that Tia was the sweetheart of the season and that she was, she had the best storyline, she had the best arc, her redemption was there. It made sense for Tia to take the crown, I think. She also gave the best answer to that question Rue asked about drag being political.
You you believe her. You believe her when she says it, and I think that's. I mean, I think she means it, but like she's very believable, and so I was like, all right, it's an annoying question, quite frankly. Like it's just an annoying question. It's just like, do we have to do this?
Yeah, oh, highly annoying question. And yeah, Tia kind of handled it the best. She talked about drag being inherently political. The rest of them kind of flopped a little bit more, I thought, on the answer to this one. So then we go to an untucked backstage, which, look, I don't think we really needed this. They just kind of sit around and go, "Yeah, you're my sister, love you."
It's like now you're pausing. It's like now you're giving us a moment after all the whiplash. It's like, no, we don't need it now.
Over to the lip sync SmackDown, the moment we've all been waiting for. It's like an hour into the episode at this point, and you're like, get to the lip syncs. Rue tells us the rules of the lip sync SmackDown. There's going to be a wheel that is spun, and the person that gets chosen will choose their competitor. And then the other two will also go off against each other. The songs will also be chosen by boxes held by the Brit crew. And then, in a little bit of a twist, we're told that the amount of repeater badges you've won from the season will determine the chances you've got on the wheel. So Marina's got more slices on the pie. What do you think of this little twist, Jane?
I liked it as well. They just threw it in there at the last second. I was like, oh, spanner the works. Like it was just like, whoa, what? You just had to digest it really quickly. Oh, there's more marinas on there than others. Like it's interesting strategy. Like I thought it was cool, but like, is it better to have more on there? I don't know.
Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out for Marina, but it still felt like an advantage. I don't know. It was a funny one.
It might have been a better strategy for her to have chosen Le Grand Dame. Or I'm not saying Le Grand Dame is bad at lip sync, but she doesn't have that. I guess she can be funny. I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to, because like, once like Hannah saw what song she had, she just seemed so calm. Don't you reckon?
Well, yeah, and I think goofiness was required from this song, and that goofiness is what Hannah kind of delivers, whereas Marina's, just gonna
It's
Marina.
yeah. It is the campus song ever, like it's ridiculous. So like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, like Hannah is gonna eat that up because it's like of an era. Uh, yeah.
Well, it kind of was the sort of lip sync where anyone could have won. And I mean, this whole SmackDown was a bit like designed for Rue to just pick her faves, I
Yep.
think. So I wasn't too shocked when Hannah won, but also, yeah, it did feel a little bit like we were just going through the motions and she'd kind of already figured out the order. I don't know.
As soon as it started, I went, "Oh my god, Hanaconda's gonna kick Marina out!" Like, because it was just like that kind of song has an inherent kind of humor and campness and silliness, that it was just weird. Like I can't, yeah, I can't explain it. It just was like, oh, holy shit. I just kept thinking Hannah's gonna win this goddamn competition. And I was like, holy crap, Hannah's gonna get through.
So Le Grand Dame versus Tia Coffee. The song is Boogie Tonight by Booty Love. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought this was a cute one. I mean, Tia is good at doing the Tia thing, so it was
Yeah,
a song that lent itself well to that, I think. What did you think?
it was a really good song. Yeah, really good song. Tia definitely hammed it up a bit more, and it seemed like it was the night for being a bit goofy.
Hmm.
I love that they just rolled around on the floor and made out at the end. RuPaul just laughing like they're the court jesters. That was kind of hilarious. But it was, yeah, it was Tia's night. Le Grand Dame, of course, is gracious and exits the stage. Then we meet Blue Hydrangea, who I was like, oh, that's right, she won. Um, and and they rub it in her face that there's a £50,000 prize this year. How good.
That's her comeuppance, as they say. That's her karma for Pangina. That, like, it finally came back round to bite in the butt.
Exactly. The top two come out, and there's a hilarious disparity in height, which, yeah, RuPaul's on some good, like, giggle drugs tonight because she's just finding everything very funny. She says, bring your daughter to work day. Um, and it's fucking Kylie Minogue, Your Disco Needs You. I was gagged. Another conspiracy theory, maybe they needed an Aussie in the end for the Kylie lip sync.
I mean, UK versus Australia with Kylie. That's the fight to the death, isn't it? Like, I mean, it's just not going to be believable with the other two. Like, they want Kylie. We
Yeah,
want Kylie. She,
yeah.
and as
Exactly. For the UK audiences as well, I think that was a bit of a storyline. I love Tia has this line here. She's like in confessional, it's me and my Aussie bestie lip syncing to the best song ever, and I love it. And I was just like, oh, that's sweet.
it is, and I think it's that thing where Tia's just like, I like, yeah, she came, like, they keep saying she came to slay, but she really did just come to try and tell her story about her life as best as she possibly could, and show that she's had this kind of glow up, and this sort of whole thing that has happened to her as well, with, like, losing a parent and that kind of thing. Yeah, she had a lot
Exactly.
to say in the end.
Yeah. She reminds us this episode as well that her season was interrupted by COVID, which was also how she lost the parent. So it's kind of like this beautiful moment of like getting another shot at it
Hmm.
and at a time where you're kind of more ready.
Yep.
I love seeing that. It's my favorite part of an All Stars edition. This was a great lip sync. They let Le Grand Dame do the French bit. That was really cute. Um, but I mean, look, it was Tia's crown for the taking, didn't you think?
I think in the end, like, once we had those two wacky queens, and they did a really fun job, and I think it was quite a tight lip sync. It wasn't like there was like one specific winner, but it's all about making sense to the viewer in the end, and that story made the Tia winning just made a lot more sense in the end than any other story that they could have
Yeah,
weaved.
yeah. The pairing was a little bit like, oh, okay, well, Tia's gonna win. Like, I mean, if it was
Yeah.
Tia and Marina at the end, it might have been a bit more of a cliffhanger. But I really just
Yeah.
couldn't see Hannah winning. Not that she wasn't deserved of that, but just the edit throughout the show. Like they liked
Yeah.
her as a personality, but the looks weren't quite, on par with some of the international
Yeah, I
girls.
thought that based on the edit that we saw, the lip syncs were fairly, even, fairly even. But yeah, that's right. It's not about the lip sync at the end. It's you are the sum of all parts, and the whole journey that you've shown
Exactly.
is what it is. Uh,
It's
yeah.
the
So
growth, it's the track record.
and winning is hard. It
Well,
comes at a price. Like they really do cop it, and I wouldn't like to see our little Hannah just cop an absolute barrage of insane hate, unnecessarily. In a lot of ways, it's kind of better to be that kind of runner up spot in her position, because it's just like you're never going to please people.
yeah. I mean, she might be subject to it anyway. These fans
Yeah,
are pretty crazy. I love
rabid,
you
rabid.
guys. And that's it, Jane. What a great season. It's been such a pleasure and a joy to recap it with you each week. Can we expect You Read It Well to be back perhaps for this global All Stars I hear of?
Certainly, if the timing is right, my hope is it's not going to be a 16 episode, like, endless thing. It's going to be kind of like, maybe an 8 to 10
Yeah.
episodes. I would,
Think think of the podcasters, Rue. Come on, we're tired.
how dare and the viewers, people are like, for episode 12 of US season, you're like, okay, like, is it over yet?
Yeah.
You know, uh,
This is plain Jane fatigue is setting in for you, is it?
plain Jane fatigue. I love her, but I'm also like, I'm over it. Yeah, so definitely Global All Stars. Obviously a priority is doing Drag Race Down Under season 4 with new host Michelle Visage. I'm excited. I'm excited about those queens that have been included. I think it's very, very exciting time for Melbourne queens in
It's going to be great.
particular.
I
Uh,
can't wait.
and
Can't
what
wait to hear your thoughts on that season, particularly.
what about you? Like, what shows are on the horizon that are going to get the cringe is real treatment?
The cringe happening. I'm thinking, depending on when it starts, Below Deck Down Under might
Hmm.
be next on the cards for the cringe. But yeah, I'm open to suggestions. I've got some more off-season episodes lined up with some of my fave special guests to unpack full seasons of past Australian reality shows and pop culture at large. So yeah, there's exciting stuff in the pipeline for the cringe.
Well, I'll be excited to listen, and of course, we will be back in each other's orbit again. I mean, with all the drag race and all the things that are going
Of
on, we will be
course.
in touch soon, no doubt. But this has been super fun. Thank you for doing this podcast versus podcast slam down versus.
Lip sync for the crown.
We are the winners. We're the real winners.
We won. We won. And it was great to have you, Jane. I will talk to you soon.
I'll talk to you
Bye
soon.
bye.
Bye.